We made over 31,000 pips last year for about 10 hours of work. I mean, if you think about it, 31,000 pips is anywhere from 3,300, 30,000, and even $300,000 worth of actual income. And it only took about 10 hours, all free, all live last year on YouTube. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kind of go over the 4-hour swing trading experiment. We started this as an explanation to show you that trading is as easy as you make it on yourself. Really just that if you pick a strategy, as long as it's reasonably decent, you have a reasonably good rules and management in place, you can technically be profitable. The vast majority of other things people experience, whether it be from their cryptos, their long-term holds, their stocks, their Forex, their futures, it comes down to the management. It comes down to the over trading, the over leveraging, the misnomers, all the things that really have nothing to do with the strategy. So that was the point of this. We did take a vote both live on YouTube as well as inside of our communities to say, hey, do we want to stick with this? Do we want to keep doing Forex? And the overwhelming majority said, yes, they want these videos. For that reason, I am here. I'm going to stick with it. These videos will be released approximately every other week, most of the time on Tuesdays. We might be switching that up just because Tuesdays is always the night I'm the most busy in real life stuff, family stuff and all the things. But don't worry, we will let you know in advance. So, of course, we have to do our disclaimer real quick that just says everything in these videos is meant as educational purposes only. It's meant for training. It's meant to help you. It's meant to broaden perspectives and just advance a little bit and grow together as a community here on YouTube. It is never meant to be legal, financial, or investing advice. Every single part of this is high risk. You're going to have wins. You're going to have losses. You're going to have good parts and bad parts. It's part of it. The only difference in the guy who's posting that he made 100,000 and the guy who's posting he lost 100,000 in cryptos and in Forex and in futures is that the one who made it, he kept going when he lost some, right? That's really, and he wisened up along the way. That's really, it's not this secret sauce that's going to be behind some viral video. Really, it's very, very simple stuff. But there's a ton of stuff I want to go over tonight, so I'm going to talk pretty fast. That's not new. Please try to keep up. I want to go over real quick. Inside of our Discord community, we have released quite a few new things, and my developer is working overtime, just making sure we have the rest of it ready, and I'm really excited. So I'm going to go through a lot. We're going to review the trades. We're going to look at how we did last year, but before I get off of this little part of the screen, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know up front, here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be giving away over 500,000 in funded challenges to one lucky winner or a couple of lucky winners. I think we're going to balance it out between about 3 people, as well as a couple of cash prizes. More details will be announced. The things you need to be aware of right now and be prepared for is you must be subscribed to our YouTube. I mean, that's kind of a given. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be watching this anyways. Share it, like it, comment, do all the things. But also, you need to be using our 6-figure trading coach breakout strategy. In order to get that, you need to be an active member of our private 6-figure trading coach community. So that all that information is here. All really cool. We do classes a couple of times a week, and we're going to be increasing that along the way. But the point of this is going to be to show you in a 30-day challenge what's possible, right? A couple of rules will be set forth. Otherwise, you have free reign over all you do. You need to post what you're doing a little bit and be willing to share at the end of it. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want people to see what's possible when we stick with something. What's possible in this particular methodology that I'm using mostly for futures these days. It's really incredibly powerful. You can use it on Forex, you can use it on cryptos, you can use it on so many things. But in order to get other people to understand that it's not just Jenny who can have success with this, and that other people can, in order to get other people, right, to make the impact that I'm looking to make, I want to see a lot of people win with this. So for that reason, we're going to go ahead and give away almost $500,000 in funded challenges to a couple of our lucky winners. Please make sure you are well positioned to participate in that. And you've kind of got a chance to play with it a little bit, got a chance to ask some questions, got a chance to go over some things. And of course, make sure you're following along and you will have more details to follow. But let's go ahead and take a look at all of the spreadsheet stuff for how we did in 2024, what to look forward in 2025. And of course, we have 2 new 4-hour swing trade public experiments for you on the Forex side. First, we have our trusty public 4-hour swing trade experiment. Remember, we predefined the rules. We predefined everything we needed to go over. I'm not in their way saying this is 1,000% perfect. I'm saying it gives you a really good idea of what's possible. And that's not including compounding, it's not including scaling in or any of that. And when I say the sky is the limit, I mean the sky is the limit, even starting with really reasonable balances, okay? So I'm going to scroll all the way up. We've been at this for, a little bit of that's off screen, since 2023. Really just doing this for a very nominal amount of hours. We're not doing a bunch. Not every week is great. In fact, there was a really whopper of a week here somewhere. This week hit, if I'm not mistaken. We had a couple of GJs that, of course, just took the cake. But there's been a couple that just hit. Man, it hit hard. And that's part of it. It's going to, depending on how you lotted and how you managed and how you re-entered and all the things in between, might hit harder than others. But the point of this is to show you what's possible. So we got over 31,000 pips. A pip is a pip is a pip. Remind you, they're all worth different amounts. If it's a USD pair or another currency, I'm not going to dare go into that much detail. That is vastly too much work just to show you guys this here on YouTube. But to give you an idea, kind of round it out to the value of the US dollar pairs. I know some of them are worth substantially more. Some of them are worth a couple bucks less. More. You guys get the idea. This is rounded out by 10 to be more accurate. This is pretty incredible. So 31,000 pips. We averaged approximately an 85% accuracy, averaging somewhere in and around of 3.98 to 1. That is not bad, especially not for swing trading. And that's, including in losses and the ones that we barely broke even based off of our rules, right? That is definitely not bad, considering some of those trades are, hey, we got out at that ATR, that 25 to 50 pips, and that's it. That is really, really good, okay? It just shows you that management is still going to take the cake in everything that we're doing. To give you an idea on what that's worth, a 0.01, smallest amount, okay? And yes, you can afford that in this smallest account. That's still not bad. A dollar, which is a 0.1 on most brokers, I know every broker varies, but 31,000. That's more than a lot of people who, work at a gas station make, or your average retail employee who works part-time. I don't know what state you live in, but this took very few hours. Figure 26 weeks in a year. Mind you, I traveled for some weeks. We didn't do the beginning or the end of the year. Had a couple weeks with holidays and what have you. So figure 26 weeks in a year. 20, probably more accurate, at 20 to 30 minutes. That's how much time it took to make on a 0.1, for those of y'all who have a little bit of experience in trading, 31,000. Can you afford a 0.1 with a $500 account? Yeah, on most of these pairs, $1,000 would be better. It would be better depending on your leverage, your margin, other factors, etc., etc. But that means you could have made $31,000 in, I don't even know, I can't do that kind of math, but less than 10 hours last year. That's not bad. Now the hard part is compounding it. The hard part is staying the course through uncertainty, through wins and losses, and everything else that goes into it. It's not easy. Now, of course, we get up to the $5, which is a 0.5. Yes, you need a $5,000 account for that. You technically, with very high leverage, could afford it here, but that's a little bit of a draw. That's kind of pushing it in most cases. If you're in one at a time, maybe, but kind of pushing it, obviously. So that's my opinion. You can actually do so. You can do a 0.5 pretty adequately with 2001 leverage, but in general, we're not doing that. We're not promoting that. These are swing trades. We want them to have swing trade room stop losses. So I'd probably say a little bit higher. Just so you know, though, it is possible here. And just to give you an idea, that's 158,000 in 10 hours. I'll say that one more time, 158,000 in 10 hours. So if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what does. But obviously the pie in the sky stuff, most people, including myself, are not using $10 a pip, $10 a standard lot size on most of these. Even on my larger accounts, I just never really saw the need to. The level of percent on that account just wasn't worth it to put on a pair. Plus I was working on other things. I had automation, copiers, EAs, futures, and just doing all the things. So nope, did not accomplish this, but still, to give you an idea, we landed somewhere in here personally on just this side alone, and that is not, actually, definitely in here, but it's not a bad way to be at all. But that's what we did. So we've got 2 trades on for you tonight that I'm going to go look at. But before I do that, I'm going to go over real quick. I am not a spreadsheet guru. Please forgive me. This year we're going to be focusing mostly on futures, and we're doing pretty well. I took a nice little baby, slightly 0.5 of a point or something like that win, and then a 1%, a little bit less than 1% loss. So I'm going to have a gold loss to put in here as well as a win. Baby win, but still, it's a win nonetheless. This is what we've accomplished. Mind you, we didn't even start at the beginning of the year. We barely took one trade a day on those 2 trading days that week, and we took 2 on one day and 1 on the other. That's a lot. That's life-changing. That's what we're accomplishing. And of course, you can take these same trades in your CFD brokers, your futures accounts, your Forex accounts. Obviously, the pips and the management and the ticks and the points and the values are all going to be a little different. But this is not bad. This is what we're doing here in our live classes inside of our community. So I am going to format this to include the all-time pips. I'm doing pips for one of the companies I collaborate with. Otherwise, I'm mostly moving to points and percentages. So we'll see. We'll see how that all goes. All time, okay? Obviously, we're at 100%, but that's not saying much because, well, we haven't done much this year. All time, okay? Mind you, we moved closer to futures and weren't caring as much about the entry prices because the brokers all varied so much. But this is 4 or 5 years worth of data that says in 5 years, good weeks, bad weeks, family emergency weeks, every week in between, we've averaged close to a 90% accuracy. We didn't start really with the average risk to reward till really later on, but this is saying a 2.3 to 1. I'll take that. We have over 1.3 million pips in total, and mind you, we really scaled back in terms of some of those longer term swings. Most people are just not excited to track a pair for a week, although some of these trades moved exponentially farther than what we counted for it, but we just weren't trading it in that manner, okay? That's insane. The value of this long term is life-changing, and it again doesn't take a lot of hours. It does take patience, capital, self-discipline, and 100 other things, but it doesn't take you being a genius. It just takes maybe settling down, patience, better management, not over trading, not over leveraging, and better being able to digest the losses. So not only did we accomplish this, but for 2024, we got over 300,000 pips, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of where we landed for the year. If I am allowed to scoot this over. There we go. We landed at 324,000 pips on the year, which is kind of awesome, right? It's kind of awesome to say that twice, a week we got together. Here's what we accomplished. This means something. We've done that. We've got a few people who have made exponential amounts of growth with some of our EAs in our community. We've got the US 30 copper year, which switched brokers halfway through the year. And I need to collect all that data, including the good, the bad, and the ugly, including I think 3 times. Well, we'll see what happens this time. But it'll be 3 times in total with this time where we took a large hit. Including that, we're still up at, 270-ish%, if my math is correct. I think the minimum it's about 220, which is definitely not bad for a year's worth of pretty close to hands-free, including the good and the bad. And that's it. So we just diversify. We're doing all the things from all the different fronts, from futures to Forex to stocks to crypto. And we'll talk more about all that later. But that's kind of how we did on 2024. I wanted to at least go over that with you. And without further ado, we are going to continue our 4-hour public swing trading experiment. I don't guess we can stop calling it an experiment now. We've got a few years worth of information on it. And again, if you're taking these trades with me, pretty please make sure you're posting them in the comments. Tell me that you took it. Tell me that you won, lost, or drawed. Tell me that you re-entered. Let's make this valuable for you, for me, for the other people who are watching it to say, hey, wait, I entered this. I only went for 10 pips or only went for 1%, or I got out here because of structure. But let's communicate on this because that's what's going to make the biggest impact. So let's go take a look at the charts and then we will hop off. Okay, here we go. I went ahead and removed the other ones. We already know how we did on Euro Odd. Obviously, this is really old data, but just to show you what's possible. So obviously, this takes a long time. I mean, that's a month, almost a month. Well, 2 weeks. That's 800-900 pips right there on the table. That is a lot of pips on the table just to be able to collect that. Obviously, some of you guys are only getting in this much, getting this much. You're re-entering on a pullback, you're re-entering on a retest, a flag, a spring, a retest of the 50, however you want to define it, call it, etc., etc. It just works. This also worked, although I wasn't trading at this time, so I didn't catch this, right? That's okay. That's 900 pips. That's 500, 600, 700 pips. That's really all it takes. These moves help you digest the times where you take a loss. These moves helped you digest the times where you took the broke even, you took the barely 25 or 50 pips, or the 1 ATR, the 1%. That's okay. The more of these you get throughout the year, and they're not going to be every trade, and the truth is you never know when they're going to come. That's a discussion we had this morning in our little class. I think, deciding when you take this trade, for sure it's going to go above and beyond this by 3 levels, I think that's a misnomer. I don't think that's typically not with any certainty anyways, right? Not with any certainty in my opinion, but that's just me. So I'm going to remove this. We're taking that off the board, and we're going straight into our couple of trades. Remember, just as a recap, it's a brand new year. Great time to recap. This is the golden strategy. It's amazing, it's special, it's fantastic, it's behind a secret key. It's also just a strategy. It's very, very simple. It's a 50 moving average, a couple of smaller moving averages. You're really just going with the trend. You're waiting for the break and the retest. This was built by one of our geniuses inside of our community for the community, and it just gives you lot sizes, management tools. Really, it gives you so much stuff. Gives you the bias. You can make it multi-time frame, lower time frame. Some people have done some incredibly intelligent things with it, far beyond me. But the point of these arrows is just to show you when conditions have been met. It's not necessarily meant to be only a signal arrow. It is meant to be a signal to look at. Hey, what's going on? It's not always going to appear. It's going to always be lagging by at least a little bit. It's the nature of any indicator, but a great way to be, especially when you can program in the lot sizes and take profits and stop losses and stuff. So kind of cool. But let's go take a look. So that's a MACD, a fast one, and a traditional one. Go ahead and go to USDCAD. We can bounce around. This has got a little bit of a lag on it because I put NinjaTrader on this VPS and now it's all kinds of heavy. But take a look. I'm not overthinking this. We did wick up, we did wick down. I think the US dollar and everything America is going to be going through it. So this is a high risk trade in my opinion, just because of where we're at right now fundamentally. But I'm going to go ahead and drop this here. Double click this, make it red. I'm looking for the sell. The reason I'm looking for the sell, just keeping it very simple. As in trading what I see, not going off of my bias. So again, that's trading what I see, not going off of my bias. I'm going to put this here. We've already come up a little bit and retested. Don't love the size of this stop loss, but to give you an idea, the risk, oh, I should use that cool tool. It's been a while since I've been on here. Hold on. So, and it's so laggy too. So to give you an idea, even if I'm using all the way up here, that's kind of a spicy stop loss, and looking to come into this range, I'm still going to have about a 1.5 to 1, so not great. We are going to be protecting within an ATR, which is really low right now. Well, I guess that's kind of high. It's 77. It looked like just 7. So we're protecting within 25 to 50 pips or 77 if you're using ATR. You're protecting pretty quickly because you want to know that, hey, if all we're going to do is sweep this low before we pop back up, that you at least get some of this money, let it pop back up, and you can look for a re-entry. But overall, I'm going to zoom back out, scroll back over. I'm looking for price to at least come down into here, which is 150-ish pip move. So if we break and close below, we retest. I'm coming into here. If we break and close below, we retest. I'm coming to go take out all of these previous lows. So we'll see how this plays out. We don't have to care whether it win, loses, or draws. We don't have to worry about that at all because we know at the end of our basket of trades, at the end of our month, year, week, or whatever, we're going to be net profitable. We don't have to overthink and feel and go through all this stuff when we take these trades. It just becomes a little bit robotic and simple and part of your whatever night of the week ritual. And that's all it is. You let the wins and losses fall where they will, and then ta-da, that's it. GBPCHF. Okay, I love this one. Actually, I got in kind of early based off of a smaller time frame, so I already have one entry. I will be taking another entry. Here's where we're currently sitting. We've got our perfect little arrow. Stop loss isn't bad on this one, not at all. Maybe taking an instant execution, a market execution. Put this the right color for green. Silly rabbit. You just look how laggy this is. It's kind of rude. So rude. But there you go. Same concept. To give us an idea what that risk and reward looks like, of course, we can use this most recent low if you choose to. Otherwise, you're using the actual low. This is going to bring you up to the ADR high. That's barely 1.25 to 1. Otherwise, you're looking to come up a little bit higher. And that gives you the 3.21. So not a bad trade. Not bad at all. If you look at where we're sitting on the bigger time frame, we did make a lower low. So even to come and sweep back up into these highs makes for not a bad trade. That's that. Last but not least on our little watch list is going to be GJ. does not have the arrow just yet. We're likely not to get it until the end of this candle if and when we stay above. So if you want to be more conservative with your decisions, you can decide, hey, I'm not going to enter this until we continue. No, you might be a little late, but also you might avoid a bad trade. So totally up to you on what you want to do there, because what we could have happen is instead of closing and staying above this 50 and moving in this direction, we can pull back, which just means you're going to have missed a bad trade or you're going to get a better entry on a good one. So again, totally up to you, but ultimately I'm looking for the buy. We've got our candles that are closing above the 50. The moving averages are not yet there. So let's see if we pull back a little bit and then continue. Same concept. Our risk to reward is actually pretty good. I'm looking to not only take out this ADR high, but figure my stop loss is going to be below this at minimum. But really I'm using 2 to 3 fractals back, which is going to put me more down there. So that's your 2 to 1, 1.1, and that's your 3 to 1. So not a bad trade. Obviously you can manage and see how far up you can take this. There's plenty of more room up above to really track this channel, or even just to retest into the 50% range of this channel that we're in currently. And it still gives you a really easy trade to go get that 50 pips bare minimum. Otherwise, up to 500. So easy trade. If you guys are finding these videos helpful, you like them, you want more of them, please make sure you do all the things that help the YouTube algorithm. Make sure it gets it out there and pumps it out to the next, awesome person who's going to be part of our community, and just go and grow with us. But that's all I've got for you guys this evening. Happy Tuesday. Happy inauguration and Martin Luther King Day and all the other days that we've either coming and or have went. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care and God bless.